"No!" exclaimed Cynthia. "We can't call the police." "But why on earth not? You can't leave him here. He's not exactly ornamental, and he's blocking the doorway. The police will tidy him away nicely, and soon it'll be as though he'd never been here, you'll see." "Don't be silly, Freddy. It's not funny. We need to get rid of him somehow, but without the police." Freddy's head was starting to spin, and he had the feeling there was something about the situation that he had not quite grasped fully. "Look here, it's late," he said. "Perhaps we ought to leave him here and go sleep on it. Then we can call someone tomorrow with a clear head, and they'll come and fix everything for you, and you won't have to think about it any more." But his mother was shaking her head vehemently. "No!" she exclaimed. "It's Mrs. Hanbury's day tomorrow, and you know what a dreadful old cat she is. If she turns up and finds a dead body here, she'll tell your grandfather, and he'll be terribly cross with me. You know how long it took me to persuade him to let us use the house again after we held our Rainbow Joy party last year? I never meant everyone to start throwing paint at each other, but you remember the mess, and the bill for redecoration was rather high. It won't take much to set him off again. We must get Ticky out of here tonight." "But why don't you want the police?" said Freddy. "And how did he die, anyway?" he added as an afterthought. "Poison," said Cynthia. "At least I think so." "Poison?" said Freddy. He stared as the reality of the situation began to seep in slowly. "You don't mean to say you killed him?" "Don't be absurd, darling," said Cynthia, although she looked a little uncomfortable. "Why on earth would I kill Ticky?" "But then how did you know?" "Because he told me so himself. He was ill in the taxi on the way back, and when he got here he collapsed and was sick, and then he exclaimed 'poisoned,' just like that, and died." "Good God," said Freddy. "Exactly," said Cynthia. "It was awfully sudden. We were out, a group of us, you see, for his birthday, and he ate far too much. Between you and me, it was rather revolting, and I could hardly bear to watch it. And there was lots of wine and champagne, and that dreadful Van Leeuwen woman was there. I don't know who invited her. And, of course, then I was left without a lift, so I ended up in a taxi with Ticky. He spent half the journey drinking brandy out of the flask we gave him because he didn't feel well, but it wasn't until he dropped dead outside the house that I found out just how ill he was. At any rate, it looks most suspicious that I was the last person to see him alive, so you see why we can't go to the police." "I don't, actually," said Freddy, who was struggling to keep up. "Why can't we go to the police?" "Why, because everybody will think I did it. I'll probably be arrested at the very least, or taken off for questioning, but I'm supposed to be going to Marjorie Belcher's reception tomorrow afternoon, and you know how straight-laced she is, and she's got Mr. Bickerstaff in her thrall, and he'll probably give me the sack, and to be perfectly frank, darling, I could do with the money at the moment." "Oh!" she exclaimed suddenly. "What?" said Freddy. "Nothing," said Cynthia. "I've just thought of something, that's all. Never mind, there's nothing I can do about it now. I shall just have to think about it later. In the meantime, we have to get rid of Ticky. I suggest you go and leave him outside his front door. Then they'll think he died there, and nobody need ever know he was here. It's only 200 yards or so. I'll keep a lookout if you like." "What do you mean you suggest I leave him outside his front door?" said Freddy. "What has all this to do with me?" "Well, naturally, I can't carry him, darling. What an extraordinary idea! You must do it." "But, Freddy, I simply insist. You know perfectly well—" She suddenly stopped, and her eyes narrowed. "Have you been drinking?" she said, accusingly. "No," lied Freddy. "You have, haven't you? I can always tell. Oh, Freddy, just when I needed you, I feel you've let me down somehow." "It was only— I couldn't help— Mungo insisted. Look here, Mother, can't a man go for a perfectly innocent cocktail or two? That—" "Oh, never mind that now," said Cynthia. "We'll just have to do the best we can with what we've got. I only wish you had the sense to remain sober." Her tone was reproachful. "Well, if you told me in advance you were planning to do away with someone, I might have," said Freddy. "Where's Father, by the way? Doesn't he usually dispose of your victims for you?" "Don't be impertinent," said Cynthia. "As a matter of fact, your father was supposed to come this evening, but he had to take Mr. Foss out for dinner at the last minute, and he said he would go straight back down to Richmond afterwards. Now, it's getting late, and I'd rather like to go to bed, so let's get this over and done with instead of standing here talking. You pick him up, and I'll just peep round the front door to make sure the policeman isn't still there."